Hello and welcome back here on my channel. Today is going to be a very exciting episode, I hope. um, Today I'm gonna give you the basics of music theory and we are talking about intervals, okay? There's a lot of talk about intervals and funky numbers and symbols and all sorts of stuff, which is usually more distracting and puzzling and looking more complicated than it really is. Today I'm going to give you a really simple rule how the intervals do sit together, and with this rule, it's actually two rules. And with this rule, you should be able to understand the basics of music theory. Okay? So, power down, right? Because usually when I talk, okay, we're doing music theory now, then you could literally see, like when with my students, you can see like the whole brain is like starting up the whole computer, the full Monty, like 200%, like, or it's gonna be super complicated now. Relax. Power down, sit back, have coffee, and let me explain it to you, and just take it in. And it's really easy, actually. Okay? Good. Let me grab a coffee as well. Like, do it, cheers. Do it Henning Pauly style, right? Coffee. Helping Germans making YouTube videos since 1889. Woo! Okay, good. Jokes aside, let's start with the theory. Or with the theory, with the intervals. First of all, to understand, an interval at least needs two notes. Okay? Because an interval basically defines the distance, you could say, from one note to the next. Okay? Or in other terms, you could say an interval describes the relationship between two or more notes. Yeah? A single note on its own as such is not really an interval. It's just a note, it's just a tone. It could be anything. It doesn't have a relationship to anything, right? So that was an A. What does it relate to? It doesn't relate to anything, right? So that's first to understand, okay? Two or more notes are needed to describe or to have an interval even, okay? Good. So then you probably heard already many times about natural and sharp and flat and major and minor and you saw symbols like plus and minus and cross and bees and so on and so on and so on. Let's give you the first rule. The first rule is there's only three intervals that exist in its pure form. Okay? And that is the root, the 4, and the 5, so to speak. Root, 4th, and 5th. Right? That's basically the blues chord progression. Right? Yeah, blues chord progression is 1, 4, 5, 1. Those are the only pure intervals in the whole system. Okay? Any other interval that we are discussing does not exist in pure form. It's either flat or sharp. Or it's either, how I think of it, minor or major. All of them. Okay? So something like a sixth doesn't exist. Okay? It's either a minor 6 or it's a major 6, or it's a flat 6 or a sharp 6. Okay? Just 6, a sixth, doesn't go. And that goes for all the others as well. So let's quickly go through them, okay? So we are having the root, which is pure, right? Then we have the minor second, okay? The minor second is just a half step, okay? The minor second or the flat second. Good. Then after the minor second comes the major second, or some people refer to it as the natural second, or some people refer to it as the sharp 9 or something. Well, sharp 9, no, but usually it's just a 9. Yeah, I still refer to it minor, major, minor, major. So I personally refer to it in my thinking, it's the major 9. Minor 9. That's the major 9. One half step further. Major 9. Now the next one. Now comes the third. What do you think? What comes next? Exactly. The minor third. Right? Minor third. Then we get to the major third. Okay? After the major third, we go to the fourth. Okay? And we said the 4 is pure. So there it is actually a 4. Nothing more. Okay? After the 4, yeah, you can either go and say, okay, this is like, and this is interesting here. If you raise one of the pure ones, then you call it augmented. Okay? So that would be the augmented 4, or the enharmonic of it. You could also see like the 5 being reduced. In this case, since the 5 is also a pure one, diminished. Well, you heard those before, right? So usually that one, after the 4, for the most part, it's more referred to as a diminished 5 rather than an augmented 4. But it could be the same though. Alright? Anyway, so then we have augmented 4 or diminished 5. Then we have the 5. After the 5 comes the minor 6. Then we get the major 6. Then we get the minor 7. Then we get the major 7. And then we come to the octave, which is basically the root again. Maybe about the octave. The octave is always the same tone as, in this case, let's start with the root. The A is always the same tone as the A, just an octave higher. What does that mean? It's pure physics. If you have usually standard 440 Hertz tuning, that's your A, right? The octave is simply double in frequency. It's the same tone, the same note, just at 880. Physics, yeah? So 880 Hertz per second. That's all it is. And if you pick the next one, it doubles again. So it's like 1600 or 1760 or something. Right? That's all there is. But sound-wise, we perceive it as the same note, just like as a higher, at a double the frequency. That's all there is. Okay? So this is important to understand. I repeat those two rules again. Root, 4th and 5th are the only ones that are really just like as existing in a pure form. Any other interval is either minor or major or flat or sharp. Okay, so you don't have like something like a third. It's a minor third or major third or flat 3 or sharp 3 or whatever. Okay, that is really important to understand, and we are already through it, because that's all there is about the intervals. Okay, And you can simply, if you want to look something up in a scale, for example, you can easily count them. When you take the A minor scale, then you can, okay, here we have our root. The next one would be the minor third. We don't play in the minor second. We don't play that in the A minor scale, so we play the major second. Okay? The next one is then the minor third. Then we play the 4, then the 5, then comes the 6, and it's actually the minor 6. Right? Then it's the minor 7, and then it's the octave. Yeah? So if you have a scale pattern in front of you, you can simply go like, okay, you start with the lowest note, this is your root, and then count the steps. Like, root, minor second, we don't play, major second we play, minor third we play, 4 we play, the middle tone here, sharp 11 or flat 5, we don't play, we play the 5 instead, we play the minor 6, we play the minor 7, and we play the octave and so on. So it goes. So if you have any kind of pattern, this way you can actually, scale pattern, this way you can actually sort it out yourself, actually, how the intervals sit together. Always start with the lowest note in that pattern and count. Count them, actually. As easy as it is. And then you know what the intervals in that pattern are. Alright? Good. So far, for now, those were the basics about intervals. We are coming back to this. There's a reason why I put this right here. Because in the next episode, we are going to talk about modes. Okay? And modes are about intervals. Which interval, when to play, and what specific sound you get from that. Okay? So I wanted you to understand this first before we go with the modes. So have a look into this. Don't simply skip it, otherwise you won't understand the modes in the next episode, okay? So count on you that you do your homework. I'm signing off for now and say so long.